The Lord's Prayer, found in Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 to 13, is a central Christian prayer that Jesus taught his disciples when they asked him how to pray. It encapsulates key aspects of Christian faith and how believers should approach God. Here's an explanation of each line of the prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. This opening line acknowledges God as a loving personal Father. By addressing God as our Father, it emphasizes the relationship between believers and God. The phrase "who art in heaven" points to God's transcendence and his dwelling in a holy, perfect realm. Hallowed be thy name means that God's name is sacred and holy, and believers are to reverence and honor his name above all else. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This line expresses a desire for God's reign and rule to be established on earth just as it is perfectly carried out in heaven. Thy kingdom come refers to the longing for God's sovereignty to be manifest on earth in our lives and in the world around us. Thy will be done is a submission to God's will, trusting that his purposes are good. It also reflects a desire for the alignment of human will with God's perfect will. Give us this day our daily bread. This line asks for God's provision not only in terms of physical sustenance like bread, but also spiritual nourishment. Daily bread symbolizes all that we need each day, acknowledging that we rely on God for everything, both material and spiritual. This line also emphasizes trust in God's faithfulness to meet our needs. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. This part emphasizes the importance of forgiveness. Debts refer to sins or wrongdoings against God and others. Believers ask for forgiveness from God for their own sins, but the prayer also links God's forgiveness to our willingness to forgive others. This highlights the principle that we should extend grace and mercy toward others as God has done for us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. This petition asks God to protect us from situations that could lead us into sin or spiritual harm, also known as temptation. It acknowledges that humans are vulnerable to the pressures of temptation. Deliver us from evil asks God for protection from the forces of evil, both spiritual and physical, that might lead us astray or harm us. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. This concluding doxology praises God, affirming his sovereignty, power, and eternal glory. Thine is the kingdom acknowledges that all authority belongs to God. The power recognizes God's ultimate strength, and the glory points to God's majesty and honor, which are everlasting. Amen is a word that means so be it, or truly signaling agreement and affirmation of the prayer. The Lord's Prayer is a model of how Christians should approach God. With reverence, submission to his will, trust in his provision, a heart for forgiveness, and dependence on his protection from evil. I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened in order that you may know the hope to which Jesus has called you. God bless you all.